So I'm going to talk about how conversation messaging has been disrupting advertising. I'm an old ad tech guy. Been in ad tech for about 15 years now. Some old logos, Monster.com and Yahoo, which are barely even around anymore. But as Alex mentioned, I was most recently at Kik before I started Chat Dynamo. It was at Kik that I really kind of fell in love with messaging as a strategy, chatbots, this whole world, and probably, I'm a fan like most folks in the room here. Quick story before we kind of get into this. If you know anything about me, I've got a couple of really big passions in life. One is basketball. I'm a huge basketball fan. 2 is sneakers. I wore my freshest sneakers tonight for you guys. And then the 3rd is chatbots. And I was watching the Celtics play the Lakers on TV. It was probably about a month ago. It was on TNT. And they were promoting this new Nike Adapt BB shoe, which is straight out of Back to the Future. It's a self-lacing sneaker that you can control through an app. Really high-tech, really cool. It was the first time that NBA players were actually wearing it on the court, and it was these 2 players, Jason Tatum, Kyle Kuzma. They were opposing teams playing at the same time. They come back from commercial break. They've got the sideline announcer talking about these cool new shoes and showing them off and showing the app. They cut to the game. The 2 players are playing. The announcers now start talking about it. And then they break for, it must have been like a free throws or something, and they did an in-game ad. And the ad was from Google, and it was prompting people to take out your Google Assistant and ask it to talk to Nike. And I did it, and I grabbed some screenshots from it. So I had Google Assistant on my phone. I took it out and asked it to talk to Nike, and it starts describing you could watch videos and learn more about this shoe. But I just thought it was really cool that we've talked about some big brands here. Google, Nike. It's being broadcast on TNT. Nike, full disclosure, sponsors the NBA. They make all the jerseys. But what was significant to me was the talk to Nike. Ask your assistant to talk to Nike. 10 years ago, it would have been go to Nike.com to learn more about the Adapt BB shoe. 5 years ago, it would have been download the Nike app or the Nike, Adapt special app for the shoe. Today, it's take out your assistant and ask it to talk to Nike. And I think it kind of is sort of what this slide is suggesting, that I think we've moved into a new phase for marketing and for advertising, where it's not about getting people to your website. It's not about getting people to download your app. A lot of people don't even really download apps anymore, not that often. I think today we're talking about messaging and messaging as a strategy, and so that's why I'm really excited to be here. That's what I'm doing at Chat Dynamo. We're a small agency that helps brands and advertisers and agencies develop messaging as a strategy. A lot of that falls into Facebook, which we'll talk about, but anyway, that's my little Nike story. Tonight, I want to talk about 4 examples of how messaging is disrupting advertising, at least from what I can tell. And so we'll jump right in. This was not necessarily in this order, but close. I think probably Octane, which we're going to start with, is maybe on this side of the scale, and then the really highly disruptive stuff is some companies you probably have never heard of on this side, and then right in the middle is messaging, which we'll talk about. I guess I could use this, right? All right, so Octane. So Octane is one of 200 chatbot platforms out there now. There's so many of these platforms. If you want to build a bot, a lot of them are free. I think this one's free. You build a chatbot and you get it out there mostly on Facebook Messenger. What they did, though, I thought was smart, was they are really disrupting retargeting and advertising. There's this concept of retargeting. Probably you guys have felt it or are somewhat familiar with it. Pretty simple example here. I'm interested in Harry's Shave Club. I go to the website, I check it out. Maybe I add something to my cart, maybe I don't, but I browse around and then I leave. And then what happens? I'm followed around the internet by Harry's razor ads. That's retargeting, okay? It's really the only option that Harry's has because they didn't collect an email address. They didn't know anything about me. They put a cookie in my browser, and that's how they're able to know, okay, this guy got to our site, did something, let's just hit him with ads everywhere. what Octane has developed is a much stronger retargeting solution for partners. And I was just talking before this, there's other companies that are starting to sort of release the same functionality here. They partnered with Facebook and with Shopify, the biggest e-commerce platform out there, to do this very clever thing where when I go to add something to my cart, and there's this concept in advertising called shopping cart abandonment, right? Because you get nervous, or you got to talk to your wife, or whatever you got to do to like complete the purchase. So you add it to your cart and then you leave. And same use case as this, only instead of hitting me with advertising everywhere, it just sends me a message through Facebook Messenger on my phone saying, hey, did you forget something, or why don't you come on back? You know, you put a $3,000 bike in your shopping cart. Why don't you come back and complete that purchase? And because messaging is just has such a higher open rate than email, than anything else, it's a really effective technique. And I mean, the proof's in the stats here. And I like this because it's a believable number, right? A lot of people, it's 100% lift in sales. No, 7 to 14%. That tells me that they actually, took some time to put these real numbers together, and this is what some of these Shopify merchants are seeing, a 7 to 14% lift in sales by just enabling this feature where it'll follow up with you through messaging. So Octane is disruptive, just to review, again, really disrupting ad retargeting. I think this is getting it directly into your Messenger inbox rather than having to come in the form of an ad. Another cool thing for any chatbot folks in the room, there's this rule that Facebook has where you have to initiate the conversation with the bot first in order for the bot to send you a message. Not the case with this checkbox, if you can kind of see that box. As long as that box is checked, this bot, and I actually did this and bought this coffee cup from the Aerosmith. I'm not a big Aerosmith fan, but went through it. I had to actually see it working, and it does. It just, an hour or two later, did you forget something? You're able to check out through PayPal or whatever. Really effective. And then, yeah, with the open rates, 75, 80, 90% open rates on messaging, this is a really powerful thing. And like I said, 7 to 14% lift in sales. So that's one cool disruptive thing. Moving along the spectrum to Facebook Messenger. So a lot of what we do when these big brands will launch these chatbots on Messenger is what comes with that is, all right, we've built this great bot, it's a shopping bot, or it's a lead gen bot, or whatever it is. Now we need to spend some money to actually get people to find it and chat with it, and let's figure out if people like it. Are they moving along the conversion path? What are they doing? And so we use Facebook Click to Messenger, which is still a relatively new feature for Facebook, where instead of clicking on an ad and going to a website, or clicking on an ad and going to an app download, you're clicking on an ad now and you're chatting with a chatbot. So it starts a conversation between a customer and a brand. That's what a Click to Messenger ads are. I think it's disruptive because you don't need to build a website necessarily. I think most businesses still will have one, but that's not the end-all be-all, is to get somebody to your website with this. It's just to actually get them to initiate a conversation with your Messenger bot. Once you've initiated a conversation, you don't really need to ever collect their email or their phone number. You've now created that one-to-one communication, and you can message them. Facebook's about to put some limits on that and start charging you for that, but essentially you've opened up the lines of communication, and you can now start pushing updates or promotions or whatever through messaging. It also kind of eliminates the need for retargeting. So similar to the Octane example, I've now engaged with this brand on Messenger. I don't necessarily need to follow that user around the internet with the Harry's Razor ads. I can just message them what I'm looking to do. And then this lookalike stuff. So I'm going to get into kind of some best practices quickly about what we've learned in the 2 years of doing this is the best way to use Click to Messenger ads, and some of the stats that Alec tempted you to come to the event about our success in driving sales lift for a billion-dollar jewelry brand and other performance from these marquee brands, it all came back to following these best practices on Facebook Messenger, and lookalike is one of them, so that's why I thought of it. But all right, so it starts, there's 5 best practices. There's many more, but I'm going to sort of give you my top 5 for messaging, for click-to-messenger ads. Ask a question in the ad. It sounds simple, but questions are the best way to initiate conversations. And especially if you use 2 notable logos and brands that people have heard, like Tinder and Bumble. In the past example, there was Xbox, PlayStation 2. And this little, like from a creative standpoint, this sort of split screen, which one is your favorite, really gets high click rates, but it also gets a lot of people chatting with the bots, because one of the biggest challenges of running click-to-messenger campaigns is you need to get them to click on the ad, and then you need them to chat with your bot. So you almost have to get 2 clicks for the price of 1, for the cost of 1. And when you have a question like this, it just makes that first engagement with the chatbot that much easier, because I want to answer the question. I clicked on the ad. Now the chatbot's asking me the same question. It's giving me button options, and I hit the button, and it's a really nice extension of the ad and the creative in the ad. But the key point here is that the brand has to initiate the conversation. I see a lot of ads, it's like, chat with our chatbot to learn more, or click here to message us. Asking the user to take the first step is never a good practice. The brand should always be leading the conversation, initiating the conversation with a question. So this is what I meant by a welcome message. It's 2, well, in this case it was actually 3. Who are you shopping for was the question in the ad. They got to this, this is the chatbot now in Messenger, and it's asking me, again, the same question that I just clicked on in the ad, and I just have to tap him or her or myself. I just have to make a simple choice here. What a lot of click-to-messenger campaigns, a lot of issues will come up when people don't take advantage of this. Facebook calls it the welcome message. It's this JSON. It's a way of avoiding the get started page, which if you chat with any business or any bot on Messenger, you're hit with this like get started page, and it's not very compelling. I'm not really interested in hitting the button most of the time. Here is an easier way for me to start the conversation. I'm just tapping on a button that follows up the question that I read in the ad, and we see 5 times higher engagement using this approach, a welcome message with a simple button selections, than sending people to a get started page. So avoid get started pages by all costs. Number 3, did you know you can serve ads in Facebook Messenger in the inbox now? This is something that is a relatively new ad format for Facebook. It's in your inbox. If you open it up, as long as I think you're on the most up-to-date version, you'll see these ads in your inbox. Huge opportunity. Not a lot of advertisers are targeting this inventory. You can get great results for really cheap. And a lot of the success that we saw with this billion-dollar jewelry brand, which you could probably guess based on the color scheme, was targeting this placement in Facebook Messenger, this inbox ad unit. Biggest reason is probably sort of obvious. When you're serving an ad in Facebook's newsfeed or in Instagram, and somebody taps on it, that app has to close, and the Facebook Messenger app has to open, and it can be a jarring experience for some, and you're going to lose a lot of people in that transition. When you serve a click-to-messenger ad in Messenger, there's no one app closing and another app opening. You're keeping them within the same app, and your chances of success is much higher. So always target, when you're doing any sort of click-to-messenger campaign, target the Facebook Messenger inbox. And for the record, might seem controversial because Instagram's like the most popular app in the world, one of them. We avoid Instagram just because the costs are too high. So if you're looking to really save some money on acquisition costs for your chatbot, avoid Instagram. Controversial, I know. Refer to Messenger in the ad copy. So this addresses that. If you do run an ad in the Facebook newsfeed or an Instagram, make sure people are kind of aware that if they tap and engage with this ad, that they're going to be sent into Messenger. So using the word Messenger in the ad somewhere is helpful. And we've just found that together with even like a little emoji will improve your chances of somebody initiating a conversation, and it keeps your costs down. And then the final was the one, we kind of alluded to in an earlier slide, but Facebook's lookalike targeting is so powerful. Lookalike targeting is basically you're telling Facebook to say, I've got a group of people that are doing an action that I want. They're chatting with my chatbot. They're buying stuff from my website. They're whatever they're doing. Go and find me more people like this. And then Facebook, in all its infinite wisdoms and all of the data and everything it knows about everybody, is able to do this pretty sophisticated lookalike modeling to say, okay, I'm going to go out and try to find people that match kind of what this advertiser is telling me to do. And when we use lookalike, we use it for all of our campaigns, but the performance is just so much higher when you take advantage of this targeting feature that Facebook has. So those were my 5 very quick best practices for click-to-messenger campaigns. Hope you liked them. All right, moving along the spectrum, there's 2 more businesses, 2 more examples of companies that are disrupting advertising. This one I'm almost sure no one's heard of because it's a new brand that this company is releasing massively again, one of the 200 chatbot platforms that you can build on. They've been around for a while. They're up in Toronto. They're releasing a product called Beam, which is similar to AdLingo, which is one that maybe some folks have heard of. I'm seeing some nods. So this came out of a Google incubator. It's basically bringing chatbots to the ad unit itself, which I might be the only person in the room that's like really excited about this because I'm an ad nerd. But this is like crazy because now I can have a full-on automated chatbot conversation right within an ad banner. I don't have to click and leave whatever news or whatever website I'm on. And what these guys are doing, which I think they're actually going to get to market faster than AdLingo. Oh, first off, yeah, did you know the average click-through rate is 0.35% for any ad banner? So it's back to what I was saying before. Getting a click on an ad and getting somebody to go to your website or go to your app download page, good luck. I think a lot of marketers and advertisers now are looking at time spent with the ad, engagement. How do I just get people to engage with my brand through the ad? Because I know they're not going to click on it. They're not going to click on it. Beam is going to bring actual live agents into the ad itself, which is crazy because now you don't have to have a website. I don't have to click and bring somebody to any website. I don't have to have a standalone chatbot that lives on Twitter or Facebook Messenger or anything. I can have the entire experience contained within the ad unit itself and bring in live agents to kind of close the deal. I just think it's kind of crazy. No need for a website, no need for a standalone bot. And talk about time spent with an ad. Now I'm going from chatting with a bot to then chatting with a human representative. That could be a 15, 20, 30-minute experience. This is gold for advertisers and agencies now, is showing this lift in engagement with an ad. So I think that's really cool. Finally, my friends at Cashbot, which are going through a bit of an identity crisis right now, they also are called iLevel. So they kind of have 2 brands right now. But Cashbot, I think this room, probably a lot of developers and folks in the room, Cashbot is the brand. Their promise is to help you monetize your chatbot, which they're the only solution out there that I've seen that if you have a chatbot live on Facebook Messenger and you want to just make money on the traffic and the people that are chatting with your bot, you integrate with the guys at Cashbot, and now you're serving ads within your chatbot. I look at this from an ad tech standpoint, and they've really created the first ad network for chatbots and for messaging. I could start a bot. I could build a bot today. It has no users. I could act as both a buyer and a seller within their network. I could use their network to drive adoption to my chatbot for a fraction of the price that it costs on click-to-messenger, what I was talking about before. And I'm able to monetize that experience by serving ads. And they're not crappy ads. They're like pretty good brands. FanDuel, Words with Friends, Hulu. I've seen the quality of their advertisers pick up over the last couple of months. It's really easy. I'm not a technical guy. It's easy to integrate their ads into your bot. And I think the best part of this to me is actually bullet 4. I don't have to build a bot that is designed to help people shop and discover products or drive lead generation. I can just build a fun, cool bot that I like, that a bunch of people like, and in order to make a little bit of money on that, I can then work with the team at Cashbot to monetize it. So you could build like an entire business on their network, and again, not really ever need to build a website or to do the costly click-to-messenger ads. Can all be sort of contained within their network, which I think is exciting. So that was my quick disruptive look into kind of how I see messaging shaking things up in the advertising space. We talked about Octane and how they're really building a better version of retargeting. Talked about click-to-messenger, which is still the most effective format to initiate a conversation between a brand and a user. We talked about Beam by Massively. They are banner ads and ads that talk to you. You can have an entire contained experience, including a live agent within the ad itself, which is crazy. And then Cashbot, the first ad network on Messenger, and the only solution still out there to help you monetize your chatbots. And that was it. Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you, Ryan. So we have a few questions from the audience already. If you have more questions, just shoot them over to questions@bots&ai. So the first one, given like the pace of change, especially with Messenger.
Oh, I'm doing these.
Oh yeah, that's you.
Okay, cool. All right. All right, sorry.
How do you kind of balance keeping up with their newest thing versus what is still effective from the old technology? Like, is there almost like a window of like, hey, this new technique will work for a year, or is it even like 6 months, or how do you kind of keep on top of what's still working?
Keep on top of what's still working. I mean, for me, it's just, am I driving performance for the advertisers? Am I making the most out of their marketing budgets? And I think what's shifted is it went from, I built this bot, I built this cool experience, I just want to get people in there, to now we're at a point where we need to start showing results for that bot. So it really just, I think it just comes down to like staying on top of the numbers and making sure you're driving the right goals for the advertiser. From a tech standpoint, I mean, my world and a lot of the paid advertising and stuff is very much Facebook dependent. So a couple of times we'll have some campaigns that extend into Twitter. Maybe it's the only other platform outside of Facebook that gets a lot of attention from a budget standpoint. So as long as and the Facebook tools have evolved somewhat, but they've kind of been, it's been the click-to-messenger format, and it's been these best practices that I've just sort of developed over the last couple of years that keep driving results.
Okay, great. Is there anything else in terms of things that you can do to drive that discovery, like other than doing click-to-messenger or that Cashbot? Like, is there something else? Do people do Google ads to Facebook, for example, or what else can you do? Is the Facebook searching effective for finding bots?
You can get your bot featured in the Discover tab, which is tough, but some people are actively looking for chatbot experiences in the Discover tab of Messenger. A lot of folks like to do the comment. What's it called? Click to comment, I think it's called, where you can actually just do a Facebook post, do an Instagram post, and anybody that comments on the post, the chatbot will automatically reply to that comment. Some of the brands I've worked with think it's a bit spammy, but it is a relatively free way to get people into your bot, is put a compelling post, like maybe do the which one's better, Bumble or Tinder, and then have a bunch of people commenting, and then the bot will respond to those comments. So that's a popular one that a lot of folks use.